honest, this is a bit soul destroying. My arms are just beginning to drop off, and yeah, I have 22 kilometers to go. So no surprise, I'm on a rail trail again. Morning. Hello. The only problem with rail trails is when you ride them you have to do an out and back, because most railway lines went in a straight line from one place to another and they didn't go in a circle. Well, unless they were the model ones in your basement.
So I started to look for rail trails I could utilise to make into loops, and I was aware that the Omemee rail trail ran from Lindsay to Peterborough, and then the south part of the Victoria rail trail ran south from Lindsay down to beyond Bethany. So if I did a little bit of mapping, I could join the two by roads and create about a 72 kilometre loop. I've never ridden on the roads around this area, and I've never ridden on the southern end of the Victoria Rail Trail.
And subsequently, a lot of this is new to me. So I hope you stick around to see how the route goes, see if I get lost. And please remember, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber, because I'll be doing a lot more of this kind of ride throughout the summer.
I could sit around and wait all day. You lay easy on my mind, like a candle I just burn away. All we really had this time. All we really had this time.
Pretty amazing, eh? So this absolutely phenomenal structure is Dubai's Trestle Bridge, and it was open, it's a railway bridge, and it was opened in 1883, and the first train that went across crossed this at 4 miles per hour, and I've got to admit I don't blame them one bit. I wouldn't want to be ending up down at the bottom of that in the middle of a train wreck. But 360 degrees, just stunning, just absolutely beautiful. So I've left the Omemee rail trail a couple of kilometers behind me, and I'm now heading to the Victoria rail trail on 23 kilometers of roads that I kind of picked off Google Maps essentially. So hopefully it'll be pretty decent. So far so good, and this bit is downhill, which you don't often get on a rail trail. This is a real battle. This is the workout part of my ride. Looking looking forward to getting back on the rail trail now. Apparently I have one more significant climb to do after this one, which I've just about finished. I made it over to the Victoria Rail Trail, and that 23 kilometers was so tough. So tough. And I have to admit, a big part of that's probably my fitness. I could be a lot fitter, but there were, in the 23 kilometers, 4 climbs that Garmin recognized, all between getting on for 1 kilometer and 3 kilometers. I'm pretty sure I saw 15% at one point, and plenty of it was 10, 12, 13%, and anything over 10% and I really start to breathe heavy. So I got off twice just to hit the shade and drink before heading on again. But regardless of that, I made it. I'm here. It should all be relatively flat. The gravel looks pretty chunky here, but that should be okay. 27 kilometers to go, and I'll take it nice and easy. That's probably going to be best part of 2 hours with a couple of breaks. But anyway, on to some rail trail.
Rivers run dry, dust spreads in the air. 2 dark days, do you have a tear to spare? Make a promise.
So officially, the Victoria Rail Trail, at least the bottom 4 kilometers of it, are horrendous. This is a good bit. That's a really good bit, actually. There's a lot of rock, a lot of sharp rock, a lot of ups and downs. You're constantly having to keep your attention. My arms are just beginning to drop off, and yeah, I have 22 kilometers to go. There's just a lot of open stretches like this, very bumpy, very rocky, and no shade. This is a tough one. And then there's that.
It's heavy just breathing through this debate. We'll start
I'm just standing here enjoying this 10 meters of nice smooth surface before I go back onto that. But I have noticed something on my Garmin. I mean, I knew it already, but it's becoming more and more evident that this trail starts to run alongside the Omemee rail trail. What I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to hop back onto the Omemee rail trail. I just have to work out where I can do that, where I can go from one to the other. It'll be about the same distance. It's just this is a bit soul destroying. Now I do hate that YouTube has become like a soapbox for people to complain about just about everything, and I don't want to complain about the Victoria Rail Trail because I know people do put time and effort into maintaining it, and the young fella who went by on the dirt bike was probably, you know, using it for what it's meant to be used for. But it is not, it is the worst bicycle rail trail that I've been on. And before I get hate from fat bikers or mountain bikers saying that they wouldn't have any problem with it, well, I'm sure that fat bikers wouldn't have any issue with it, but it wouldn't be a comfortable ride. And the scenery's not great. Well, actually, no, I can't actually say whether the scenery was great or not, because my head was just in front of my wheel, making sure I didn't go down any potholes. But yeah, I have to say that every rail trail, and I've ridden on a lot of rail trails, as many of you know, every rail trail I've ridden on, I would go back and ride on again, except for the Victoria Rail Trail. But it was not a nice ride, and I'm absolutely shattered from it. And I was only on there for 15 kilometers.
Looking back on it, to say this wasn't a nice ride is perhaps a little bit unfair. It certainly wasn't easy and it wasn't comfortable, but it was so peaceful and it's so quiet, and you know, it was a great workout as well. I started to wonder if maybe I was being a bit soft, but then I remembered I'd ridden on the Halliburton County Rail Trail, which is mainly an ATV rail trail, and in comparison, that was easy. I always feel so happy when someone says to me, you know, I rode a particular rail trail because I was inspired to do so by one of your videos. But maybe the purpose of this video is so that you can decide not to ride the southern end of the Victoria Rail Trail. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed seeing some beautiful scenery and amazing engineering, and also watching me suffer a little bit. And I hope to see you all on the next ride.